Okay, so there's a simpler way to promote your music online these days. And if you're anything like me, you might have spent a little bit of time putting lots of energy, creative sort of energy into making decent content to be able to promote your music, and then mainly focusing on Instagram. And Instagram really does have its place in promoting your music, but in terms of how to do it strategically to gain new audiences, there's a slightly different approach which I've started to use and I've started to see some success with, which I'm going to explain for you today. I'm going to give you a bit of structure for all your next releases so that you can be confident that when you post your song and you promote it, that you're going to be able to find new audiences to be able to listen to it, and you may even be able to build up over time some fans that are there waiting for your music, so that essentially you can release music and you know there's going to be some people there ready to listen. That is basically the aim. What I'd been doing for a long time is focusing on Instagram, and I'd often post the same content on Instagram on TikTok as well. And Instagram, I was finding it kind of easy to communicate and engage with my existing audience, but I was really struggling to grow it outside of that unless you had like a viral video, which I haven't really had on Instagram. But when I reposted the same content on TikTok, which I see so many producers do, it would still it would probably flop on there even more than Instagram, and I was struggling to grow on TikTok as well. So the new way that I have seen working really well online, I'll give you some examples in a second, is starting with TikTok first and then Instagram second. And the reason this works is because TikTok is the number one place for music discovery at the moment, and it's because they send all your new content to new people, and that's via the For You page. So TikTok's always trying to find new audiences for you. So you could post the same piece of content 2 times in a row and it'll show it to different people. So there's 2 opportunities to grab new audiences and then pull them in for potential fans. Whereas on Instagram, you just wouldn't do that. You wouldn't really post 2 pieces of content in a row. And that's mainly because on Instagram, they send most of your content to your existing audience. It does send it to non-followers as well, but just not in the same way as TikTok. So the framework really is start with TikTok and make really basic content, but more of it. And then on Instagram, we want to treat it more as like a kind of showroom for your brand. So let me break those 2 concepts down for you a little bit. TikTok, really simple content. You don't need to post really creative stuff on there. So save your creativity for the studio. Let me give you an example. So here's something I posted, and it's just 2 slides. I took the photo of myself, just stood in the kitchen, took no time at all, and I'd seen that this caption had been doing really well on TikTok. So it says, "Keep your job, bro, nobody's gonna listen to your new song." Then the next carousel, next image along, is just a screenshot of my streams for my latest song, and I just said, "Wait a minute," with a little laughing face. And it's got over 5,000 views, 300 likes, 57 comments, 22 saves, and what's really interesting is 26 followers just from that one post alone. And it's literally just two slides, and it took absolutely no time at all. And what's really cool is that, you know, you can do this like multiple times a day. It doesn't take long at all, and each post you're sort of growing ever so slightly. So even a post that gets less views, so let's look at this one. Let's look, so this has got 1,000 views. How's your little music thing going? That was another caption that I saw that was doing really well. And then again, just a screenshot of the streams. I just said crazy, and then again, I got 3 followers from that. So even content that doesn't do that well, you're still gaining a couple of followers. And that's cool because you're actually only gaining the people that really want to be there. And basically, there's loads of different ways on TikTok you can do it really simply and low effort, and you can build an audience that way. And what's amazing is that when I've posted stuff like this, I've had comments saying, "I've just listened to your song on Spotify, love this song, I've just followed you on Spotify." So it shows people are finding you on TikTok and then coming straight over to your Spotify. And I don't know about you, but I found that really difficult to do on Instagram. So what I've done is I've made like a top 20 simple TikTok posts, which you can download for free. There's a link in the description, and it basically just shows you 20 posts similar to that I've seen loads of artists doing that are working really well. and I've basically just broken down the captions, what to post. Really simple, but yeah, if you want to download it, you can just try these out yourself, post them a couple of times during the week or every day if you want to, and yeah, you might start to see some growth. I started doing this a couple of months ago, and I went from about 70 followers to just over 500 now, so that's quite a lot of followers in a short period of time, posting stuff that hasn't gone mega viral. So it's just slowly growing up, which is cool. Now Instagram, on the other hand, so like you've seen, TikTok is a little bit more almost like throwaway. Like, you know, as soon as you've posted it, you know, a day later, unless it's keeping on getting views, it's a little bit old news. So it doesn't have the biggest sort of brand presence, and that's where Instagram comes in really well. So when I said like a showroom, what I mean by that is, imagine a big brand, they put on like a showroom, say it's a shoe brand, and they put on showroom for a new product. They've got their new shoes there, they've got all the other products, they've really thought about every part of it, and it really conveys their brand tone, their message, everything. And then when people come in, they're going to really engage with them, because it's a chance for them to really showcase who they are, what they're about. And I now see Instagram as that kind of approach. So I put a lot more effort into sort of curating my brand, all the stuff I've thought about my music sound, what messages I'm trying to sort of convey, how I want it to come across. All that I've channeled into the Instagram, and so it looks a lot more curated. But what's also cool about this is that it means you don't actually have to post that much, because you're not trying to grab loads and loads of people to see your work there. That's what TikTok's for. You're actually just trying to sort of create some depth and connect more with your audience. So stories are really good for that as well. So you see where I'm going here? You get loads of people from TikTok, and then some people will sort of follow through to your Spotify, your Instagram, and they'll want to engage with you that little bit more. And that's what you can do on Instagram. So let me give you an example of what I post on Instagram. So it's what you can see straight away. It's way more thought out. So this was a video I filmed for one of my upcoming releases. So I went to London, I had a concept, I went to meet a videographer, I filmed it, I edited this. You know, it's not got captions all over the place. It's purely like the vibe of my music. That's what I'm trying to convey, and that's what Instagram is for. So I actually post probably about once a week on the grid, and the rest I just do in stories to engage with my audience a little bit more. Okay, so to sum up, basically use TikTok as the main discovery channel. Post really simple content quite frequently, and you'll build up an audience that way. Then use Instagram for your real kind of depth and brand, and building more of a connection with your audience that do come through over to Instagram. And that's not saying you can't do that on TikTok. You can still build depth with audience there, but by the nature of Instagram, it just lends itself a little bit more to doing that in a little bit more depth. So take the pressure off, save your creativity for your studio and your more branded posts that you can do for Instagram, but just less frequently. And yeah, use TikTok to just post loads of stuff that is usually forgotten about kind of after you've posted them anyway, but you might grab some followers who want to go and listen to your music. And that's basically the aim. If you do have a go at this, please come and let me know in the comments. Tell me if it's working for you, or if there's anything you're struggling with promoting your music, and I'm here to help, basically. So yeah, we're all on this journey together. It's a crazy journey, but let's do it. Okay, I'll see you on the next video, and have a good day.